Yes, guys, welcome back to another stream, man. Big up to everyone that's come over from the More LB channel watching Atletico Madrid absolutely destroy Girona. It was an interesting game. I got a good panel for you tonight, lads. We've got a lot to discuss as well. We'll be discussing the start of the season, including obviously yesterday's game, the return of İlkay Gundogan, and next week's game, West Ham away, man. It's going to be a tough fixture, that one. So we're going to discuss that as well. Big up to everyone in the chat. Big up to Speardos, Tyrese, Bill, Tommy. Big up to Blue Moon Edits, Karl, Caribbean Racers, Stefan Z, J Bleed, Jess, Marcus J, EMC, Subhotty, Man City Canada, Justin, Matt Davies, Karl, Stevens in the building. Big up to Citizen Phillips. Hopefully you guys are all doing well, man. Big up to Sam there and Tizin as well. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Make sure you guys are smashing the like button. Let's get those likes up rapid. Big up to you guys for jumping on the show, man. I appreciate the support as always. First of all, let's start off with yesterday, lads. Let me come straight to you, man. Pretty standard performance. A little bit of a worry for 5 minutes when they scored. But to be honest, man, I can't lie, bro. I think that we're playing at a higher level than I thought we would this early in the season. Like, I thought we'd take a little bit of time. Like, we had the most players at the Euros and Copa America. I thought that we would take a little bit of time to get going, bro. And like, to be honest, like, I genuinely think like we look mint.
Yeah, mate, I think we're cooking. Normally, we have those games at the start of the season. I can think of so many ways. Just end up losing or drawing a game you shouldn't be. Last season, obviously, we started pretty well in the league. I think we won the first 7 games. And then obviously we lost a couple after that. But yeah, it's looking good up to now. I don't want to say too much more than that because I don't want to jinx it. But like, yeah, we won the Community Shield on pens. Win your first 2 league games, can't go much better than that. And I thought the game, the weekend, I thought we were decent. Obviously, it was a bit of a I don't know. It's just one of them goals. That could happen against any team. A little ball in behind, and Edison can't save it. It's gone for his legs, I think. So, yeah, it's a difficult one to go behind. And then, we absolutely smacked him, mate. He scored like 3 in 5, whatever it was. And that's exactly what I want us to do. You switch off for 5 minutes, make a couple mistakes, and we're just going to capitalise. So, yeah, I thought after that it was a bit flat, to be honest, but we just slowed the game down. We won it 4-1, so I can't complain at all with it.
Yeah, Tariq, let me ask you, bro. Are you surprised at the level of performance so early on in the season, or did you maybe expect this with the new signings, with Gundogan coming back as well with that extra boost, or have you been taken by a bit surprised at how well it's been, man?
Yeah, I think I agree. I think that we typically start a little slower, and I think that's intentional by Pep and the staff to try to make sure that we're hitting our peak performance around Boxing Day, and we can really push forward towards the back half of the season. But especially with the Euros having happened and our squad not being fully back yet, you think about who all hasn't played yet. I don't know that there was any reason to think we would start as good as we have. I think you kind of pointed out in a stream earlier in the week, having Gundo come back, that was a lot. That was a real boost of excitement and that anticipation for us fans and supporters. But there was no reason to think that a Savinho or Savio, however you want to say it, would hit the ground and perform as well as he has from day one. There's no reason to think that because we haven't seen that in many cases. But he's been exceptional. You think about the fact that Oscar Bob was the star, in my opinion, during the preseason, in the preseason matches. And then we lose him very early. There was no reason to think that we would just be like, oh, we'll just plug Savinho in there and he will just hit the ground and keep on moving. So, absolutely would have thought that it would have started slow, and very, very pleased to see how well we've gone.
Yeah.
Do you think this is the best we've looked this early on, though?
Possibly, bro. Like, I genuinely think that, like, we just look like we've not been. I don't know. Maybe it's the preseason. Like, I feel like the last couple of preseasons we've had in years gone by, they've been a bit dead. You know what I mean? Whereas I think this preseason we've actually had like a mega preseason. Like, you remember 2 years? I think
people have had a point to prove preseason.
No, they've had a point to prove. If you remember 2 years ago when we had that shambolic preseason in the USA where we played like 1.5 games or whatever it was, like we've had like 4 games in preseason. We had the Community Shield. It could just be a fact that we played so many games. I don't know what to put it down to. I mean, I'm open to hearing theories from you guys on the panel.
I think it's more a case of the players who have played pre-season. So the core of the squad, let's say, obviously Edison didn't, but the likes of Rico, Kovacic, Haaland, obviously Grealish hasn't played as much as we probably like. But I think kind of a lot of the mainstay players in the squad who have had a good pre-season have stuck in the squad. The core positions that we kind of questioned last season, back up to Rodri. Kovacic has had time to kind of instill himself into that role. Obviously, Bernardo's come in to play a double pivot with him, which has made him a bit more comfortable than probably in pre-season. But I think the element of him last season coming in to kind of replace Rodri late in games and be comfortable, now when that's transpired into pre-season and now the season kind of culminating, I think it's been effortless for him, to be honest. Obviously Rodri is going to come back in and replace him straight away when fit. Obviously there was talks of injury, but I think it's more just kind of keep him cryogenic, shall we say, just making sure that he's ready to be hitting the ground running. But of course, I think it's just the pre-season has helped massively, and it's kind of like you said, we haven't had pre-seasons, the best of pre-seasons in previous years, but now we've hit the ground running, and I think it's dangerous for everyone else, for me.
Yeah, you know what, as well as I'd say is I think it's definitely something to do with the pre-season or what the club have maybe told the players in the off-season, because a lot of these players have come back, and I've mentioned this a few times. A lot of these players look like they've lost a bit of weight, when you actually look at them, like in interviews or on the pitch or whatever. And I don't know whether it's some new diet or new nutrition.
Rodri has eyebrows again. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, man. I just look at the way that we're playing, and yeah, I mean, you just asked the question: is this the best we've looked? Obviously, in the first two games that you can remember in the past. I mean, it's difficult to fully remember, but I'm mad shocked in both games how well we play, how quickly we've moved the ball. We've not been slow. And yeah, I think against Chelsea, a couple of the passes were a little bit sloppy, and that our passing accuracy was a little bit down on where it normally is. But we're playing the ball at a very high pace, at a very high speed. And yesterday,
the sharpness of anything.
It's sharp. It's really, really sharp.
I find it mad, some of the players that haven't been involved as well. If you think about Foden and that, and some players that haven't even played yet. And
I think Foden had the shits yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah.
So
yeah. But yeah, I think it's mad just to see some people that haven't even been in there. Obviously, Oscar Bob injured. And I think we've looked really good, even though we've had, I wouldn't say a limited choice of player, but he has been restricted on it. So I think we've done well.
Yeah. Would you bring Walker straight back in?
No,
I'm going to ask that question.
Way.
I'm bringing it out there.
No, Rico has been amazing, and there's no. I mean, we saw the same thing with Cancelo when it was the December World Cup, and Pep just got to work with Rico while everybody was gone, and then it took a while for Cancelo or Walker to win their spot back. Walker, I think that's when Pep was like, he just can't play this way. Rico can, and I think that was important for the summer too, because again, a lot of the quote unquote star players were gone. So it gave players like Rico, it gave players like Oscar Bob the ability to be the leaders, to be the ones that step to the forefront and just build that confidence. Unfortunately for Oscar Bob, he got hurt, but for Rico, I just think he's just going from strength to strength. And I would think, of course, Walker's going to get back in because Pep's going to rotate, but for me, at least right now, this is Rico Lewis's position role to lose, not have to win it.
I'm with you. I wouldn't drop. Listen, it wouldn't surprise me if Pep dropped him, Rico, and maybe played a Kanji there or Walker there, just because it is a tough test. But if it's me personally, I would Tariq, man. I just full send him in. Again yesterday, another very, very good performance from Rico Lewis. Could he done a bit better on the goal? Maybe. Should he have scored? Yeah. But his overall game, I thought was pretty strong, and I just think you've got to throw him in, man. I just think
there's one element that worries me is obviously we know about the physicality. He's a 19-year-old lad. Don't get me wrong. That's Pep's made that evident as well when he discussed about Chelsea them playing balls over at the top to kind of put him on the spot. But I think the only thing that worries me, not the physicality, but just the pace of some teams that you're going to have on the counter.
Who plays left wing for them? Is it? Who is it?
Somerville.
Yeah, he's quick, isn't it?
That's what I mean. So West Ham away,
He's
if you've got
good.
Somerville,
He's a good player.
Owen, or Kudus, potentially, if he
You could
doesn't play
argue-
through the middle.
You could argue about the Chelsea game, though. You've got Nkunku, Jackson, Modric.
Good point.
Absolutely. And, you're not going to know until you put him in that predicament and test him. But I think if you want some form of comfortability, then you go with Walker because of that pace. Like I always say, if Walker didn't have that pace, he'd be a championship centre-back. But at the end of the day, I think Rico's warranted the right to stay in that position until he proves otherwise. But
Yeah,
I just think it's with us. The only thing I'm looking at is long term, which we shouldn't do. You should take it game by game. But with Arsenal coming up, I think there is going to be questions from people. Should these players start getting minutes? Because there's a big difference to match fitness to kind of running around in training. Arsenal can be dangerous on that counter with the likes of Martinelli and stuff as well. It's whether Rico's up to that task.
Yeah,
and he's probably going to prove that point against West Ham. He's going to prove us all wrong, and
that's what I think we need to do, though.
Somerville.
That's what I do, though, bro. I think he deserves to play. Like he's not making errors. He's not defending badly. He's doing a good job at right back.
Absolutely.
So in my opinion, like I've said this all the time. If you've got the shirt, in my opinion, you're playing well, you keep the shirt. That's always how I've approached football. And for me, there's no reason really to drop Rico Lewis. You play him against West Ham. If he plays bad or he plays bad against Brentford, then he don't play the Arsenal game. He knows it. He gets the score.
I think I'd personally rather have Walker against Arsenal. I just think it's one of them where Kyle Walker's done it 100 times. Do you know what I mean? And some people slate him, some people don't like him. But at the end of the day, I think he's rapid. He's played that game 100 times, and even the last 2 years, you think about some of the big games he's played. He's played against like France in the World Cup, and in the World Cup for England. Mbappe didn't get a touch of the ball. Vinicius Junior against when we played Real Madrid and that. And I just think Kyle Walker in these big games. I think obviously captain as well. I'm not sure whether he's going to keep that or not. People saying De Bruyne might keep it. I don't know.
I think it's undecided at the minute, isn't it? I think it goes back to a vote again.
For that Arsenal game, as long as he's played a game or two before and he's actually fresh, ready, like if it was him or Rico Lewis, I think I'd just take Walker just on experience there.
I think the big thing for me is in possession, Rico fits our system much better than Walker does.
Yeah.
I think
so I guess.
Sorry.
No, go on, Ty. Go on,
No, I was just gonna say. So if you're thinking you want Walker for the Arsenal match, which makes sense, I can get there. Does that mean then you play Walker in the West Ham match to kind of get minutes ahead of that?
I think it'd be the Brentford one. Yeah, I reckon.
Okay.
Obviously, he might get a bit of a game, or he might come on. The way I do it is give him like a part of the West Ham game at the end of the game, the full Brentford game, and then if he's ready to go, at that point he'll be ready to go in it. But yeah, I think it's a tough one. It is a tough one because you could play Rico Lewis and he could have the game of his life. Do you know what I mean? So
long as Walker doesn't start saying that he's going for goals and fucking shooting from 40 yards, and albeit, man, but the second he starts popping shots off from 40 yards, get him off.
One's due to go in, mate. I'm going to say that now. I'll come back to the stream. When it goes in, Vincent Kompany style, mate, in off the bar. We'll come back.
If he does that, I will get the dance out again.
No, the thing is, the one thing I would say though about the game against Arsenal, Pep threw Rico Lewis in at the Emirates last year, and he did very well at the Emirates last year.
He scored, even though it was a foul.
Yeah, so for me, I'm looking at this and thinking, why can't he play in this home game? Like for me, it's so early on in the season. I get what lads is saying, yeah, and obviously Walker's got the experience; he's done that before. But for me, I just think that this is a game that I'm kind of with Tariq and what he was saying, in that I'd rather have the possession ability that Rico Lewis gives us and try and really go and win that football match. Listen, it's a tough one.
Newcastle away, though, mate. That's what about that one? What about that?
Well, the thing is, you just want to put Walker back in. He got twisted up by Anthony Gordon at Newcastle last year.
And Isak, yeah.
I think that was just they were both just sick goals, mate. They literally copy and pasted that goal, mate. I watched that.
He was shocking.
The only thing I'm hopeful of with this form of Rico Lewis, it makes Walker step up and realise how many stinkers he had last season.
True. Which happened when Danilo left the club and Cancelo come in. If you remember, when Danilo was at the football club. Walker was like doing all right. He was doing okay. Then Danilo left. Cancelo came in, and Walker just went bang. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because he had him behind. Listen, I think that
It's complacency. It's knowing that you have your name on the team sheet each week, and with Rico stepping up now, it's a question of the questions are being asked with Grealish, with Doku and Savinho being in the squad. Grealish is another one where, for me, the big games he starts.
Yeah. Nah, I think, to be fair, the Newcastle one, I'm a little bit more open to having Walker there, even though he did play badly last year, because that's a tough ground to go to. It's a difficult one to go to. But yeah, sorry, Bev.
What I'd say about the Arsenal game is Luke's right. I'd probably have Walker in, but the reason that I'd have Walker in is if you look at the likes of the Chelsea game and the Ipswich game, we controlled the majority of the possession. So therefore, the possession was in our favour. I think going and playing Arsenal, they play a very similar, in a way, a similar style to us. So they like to try and keep possession as well. So what I'd say in that is we probably won't have the levels of possession like we've had against Chelsea and Ipswich. So on that basis, I'd probably want Walker in for that reason. But games where we have majority of possession, trust Rico Lewis 1,000,000%.
LB, pull the fixtures back up again, because where are the Champions League ones within that as well? Is my question. Surely it's right around that Newcastle time they're going to be coming in there.
Yeah, it'd be between Newcastle and
Fulham. So you're going to have, I think you're going to have Rico Lewis maybe playing midfield again, like he was in the potentially. If we get any, hopefully an easy start.
Right. So first game, bro, is the 17th to the 19th of September.
Okay, so that's actually before the Arsenal game.
Yeah, and then the second game is this 1st or the 2nd of October.
Because it's now it used to be the last midweek of September, but obviously with that group phase now being two games more, they've obviously moved it forward.
But you got a Carabao Cup game in between Arsenal and Newcastle, I think. Am I right?
So you've got Champions League between Brentford and Arsenal, and then you've got Carabao. But okay, interesting.
I'm pretty sure you've got Carabao Cup in between the Arsenal and Newcastle, and then after Newcastle, you've got another Champions League game.
Because when's the draw for the Champions League? Is that this week?
Thursday.
Yeah. So
I think you could even see Rico Lewis play against Brentford, and then have Walker in for the Champions League game.
Potentially.
No, I think Walker gets some minutes at Brentford and West Ham.
I think it depends. I think it kind of depends, doesn't it? Because that Champions League game could be like a red. I don't know. I don't think they've gone through, to be fair. But it's someone like like a Red Star, somebody fairly straightforward at home, or it could be Real Madrid away. It genuinely could be that first game. Could be
do we know how it actually fully works though? Because that video fucking did not help me at all.
Yeah.
No.
So you basically play one team from pot one, and then it goes down like that, and then you play 2 from top 2, 2 from pot 3, 2 from pot 4. So
because as soon as he said that AI generates one of the draws, I just switched off. I was like, "Fuck this."
Yeah.
No, it is legit. It's just because of how the league is. They're saying that if they do it manually, it takes hours. So it's
if they do it manually as well, there's a chance that basically you could get to the end and then go like, shit, these can't play against themselves or something like that. So the AI,
I can do it. It's just
because there's that many
we all know what UEFA's like, and we're like, you're definitely rigging us against Madrid. Or
I can guarantee our first game's going to be Real Madrid away. Guaranteed.
That's what I was saying.
You teasing me, you naughty. You teasing me.
But just the way that's all set up, where you don't play a home and away. If all of our tougher teams are on the road and away, and then we're playing, the more straightforward matches at home, it's like, where's the fairness in that? I don't know. It's one of those things where I've already conditioned myself that I'm going to be upset with the draw. I'm going to be like, oh, here we go again. Because again,
good views for us, though.
Yeah, it feels like every time we get drawn in any competition, it defies logic how we never get a home match.
The last 3 years have been crazy, man. Last 3 years have been crazy. And
you just get like Liverpool in the Carabao Cup as well.
12 draws in a row, I think it was.
Yeah, something stupid like that. But no, but the thing is as well, like this whole conversation about who plays here, who plays there, it does depend on the Champions League draw. You know what I mean? It depends on who we get in that match day one. Because like lads is saying, if you get like a pot 4 team, let's just say if you get a pot 4 team at home, which is typically an easier team, then you know you can rotate, you can play whoever. If you get Real Madrid
even away, mate.
Even away, but if you get Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, then all of a sudden that changes things. Again, the Carabao Cup, you know what I mean? What's going on there? And the other thing to note as well on the whole minutes thing, is we've got an international break coming up. So we need to see which players actually get minutes there because, you know, I kind of want Walker to go to England, you know what I mean, and get picked for the England squad. Maybe he can get some minutes there.
I think Rico gets selected, right? You know.
Question here. So if that Champions League game, let's say it is Real Madrid away, right? Before
there's no way it's going to be in it.
if it is that, would you consider actually resting a few players against Real Madrid and sort of not playing? I'm not saying play for a draw or obviously try and win the game, but would you consider letting maybe a De Bruyne sit on the bench, Foden sit on the bench, or would you just go full strength and then hope you can do the same against Arsenal? I'd back that genuinely. Like, I'm not saying rotate like you would in like the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. But I'm saying a few changes because like you can't afford. I get that you want to beat Real Madrid, but sometimes you've got 8 games. You just got to win probably like 3-4 of them to go through is like 8 in the top 8.
I agree.
I'm not sure whether you'd want to. If it just seems a bit stubborn to just put your full team out for no reason at the start, doesn't it?
What I would say on that is I don't think we will rest them because if you look at the Premier League fixtures we've got coming up after that, we've got the Carabao Cup, then we've got Fulham, and then we've got Wolves. So what I'd probably say you're more likely to rest the likes of KDB or you know a Rodri in those type of games.
Yeah, the one thing that this new league does though, it makes the jeopardy of the bigger clubs and the better clubs being knocked out the group stages less likely because there's more games. So, you know, this again, you know, this is City could lose match day 1. They could lose match day 2 of the Champions League, maybe even match day 3, and they could still qualify for the knockout rounds. Do you know what I mean? Because there's so many games. You know what I mean? And this is what these clubs want.
All you got to do is get in that out the top, out the 36 teams in there. You just got to get in the top 24 to make it. You have a chance of or whatever going through.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to get in that top 8, and I think we probably will get in that top 8. But if something goes wrong, you can finish 24th, hope for an easy tie. You know, one of the top 3 or 4 teams that have gone through as well.
Yeah. Beat
them, and suddenly you can get through. So it is mad.
Well, this is what I'm saying, but this is, you know, if you actually look at what these elite clubs want, they want to be able to get to the knockout rounds of the Champions League every year. They want that money, It's basically like the FFP thing. This new league, this new Champions League, makes it less likely for the bigger teams and the better teams to be knocked out of the group stage of the Champions League. Because like Luke says, you only have to finish in the top 24 to just have a chance of going through. You finish in the top 8, you get guaranteed. The rest is obviously a knockout. So this is what it is. So I'm personally with lads. I think if he was to get Real Madrid away, I wouldn't rest everyone and I'd still play a couple of them, but I would be a little bit more chill because if you lose, you've still got 7 more games to play.
Do you know when they announced this format as well? They announced this format 2 weeks after that Super League got binned off. So it was a bit sneaky when they did it. They kind of announced it after everyone had... exactly. And then it kind of got away with it.
Yeah, exactly. This is probably the plan all along. You know what I mean? Like, this is what they do. Like, you know what I mean? You put something really bad out there, everyone goes, oh, it's horrendous. And then you put something slightly worse, and everyone goes, oh, yeah, it's not that bad. It's like if they would have done this, before the Super League, everyone probably would have been kicking off about it.
Probably would have promoted the Super League even more, to be fair, which is worrying.
Yeah, but this is how the game works, man. They just put it through the back door. It's the same with that thing where it's like, oh yeah, we're going to give another spot to a European, the team that comes 5th, for the coefficient. Again, what's that for? It's to help teams that just miss out get in. You know what I mean? So you know, it is what it is. But personally, I actually kind of like the this new Champions League format. Personally, I actually think it's better because
I think it's more interesting at the group stage.
Yeah, anyway, bro. You're going to play a pot 1 team, which you don't do if you win the league currently. So that means you're not playing like a mid team who won the league the previous year, and you play 2 pot 2 teams.
No, in it 2, it's 2 of each, mate.
Or
Yeah.
is it 2 pot ones? Yeah.
We're playing 2 pot 1 sides and 2 pot 2 and 2 and so on. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well, there you go.
8 games, mate. Got 8 games.
Oh yeah.
innit?
So
it's 2 for each.
that's what I'm saying. So you're gonna play better teams, and you're gonna play a couple of worse teams as well. But I personally think it's more exciting, and it probably means like we're less likely to get knocked out of the group stages. Not that happens for a long time.
My question would be, what? Go on.
Go on.
No, just gonna say, what's the gain of being in pot 1 anymore? What do you actually get for it?
Nothing.
Because you're just playing 2 out of every pot anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Pointless, isn't it? What's the point of having the pots?
Yeah.
Let's not win the league anymore then. That's it. We're done.
Yeah, no, actually, yes. Surely we've got something wrong. Surely there is a benefit of being in pot 1, no?
I think it.
I think it
is the more that you
I think
play.
it genuinely is just a way of like ranking our good team.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's more seeding than it is kind of grouping people together. In that sense,
unless it's done on the like, maybe it's done on like you get if you're in pot 1, then you maybe play pot 2 teams at home or some shit like that. I don't.
No, see, that's all randomly generated, isn't it? Like the actual kind of away and home structure that's generated on the day of the draw.
Like, nah. So because this is the thing, right? I've read the rules on this draw thing about 5 times. I watched that video that Luke was talking about before. I only think we're going to fully understand how the whole thing works when we've watched the draw and then we go, oh yeah, get it now. You know what I mean? Like,
we're going for fuck's sake. We've got Real Madrid away first game.
Which is probably going to happen. Listen, let me come to some of these. Messages and super chats and stuff, guys. Make sure you are smashing up the like button if you've not done so already. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well. I'll get these guys' links in the description in a second. But you got City Luke TV, City Bevel TV, MCFC lads. And of course, Tariq as well. He's got the Shades of Blue. I've been on Tariq's podcast as well. Good podcast, man. So hopefully get back on there soon if you'll have me.
Appreciate that, man.
Big up to LB says West Ham a game on Wednesday night, so might be tired. Is that Carabao Cup? I imagine that's Carabao Cup, maybe, or what's that?
Yeah, they got Carabao Cup.
Right. Okay. Cool. Okay, Carabao Cup. Yeah, I didn't know that. So that's hopefully they'll take that seriously.
Carabao this early?
I think it's Bournemouth.
Yeah, because they're not in Europe.
Yeah,
teams in it.
I heard before in Brentford or someone. There's all the non-European teams. So it would have been United if we beat the FA Cup. How mad's that? United would have been playing in this round.
Yeah, that is
crazy.
Crazy.
Really? I thought it was all Premier League teams are in
Basically,
later.
teams not in Europe.
Like FA
It's
Cup.
proper weird how it always works out.
Nah, sure. Yeah, it seems that are in Europe. Skip a year. Skip a thing. Yeah. Big up LB with a donor. Big up Tyrese as well. Says love how Rico gets straight up after a tackle. Again, man, I back it, bro. I back it. He says love Walker, but don't want Rico to be dropped. This is it, bro. Like, I get it. I do get it. It's a difficult one, man. You've got a player in Kyle Walker who's been excellent for club and country for so long, and he's trusted. I know last year he didn't have a particularly great year, but he's generally trusted. And then you've got Rico who's coming through, who's just absolutely phenomenal. And let's see what Pep decides to do. But the good news is we've got 2 fantastic right backs there, haven't we? And you've still got a Kanji who can play there as well. You know what I mean? Like, so we've got Stones. Yeah, Stones good.
It's the hard truth, isn't it? Where you have to replace quality with quality sometimes. You know, if you look at Foden, KDB, Bernardo Silva, one of them has to get dropped and benched. That's for the other 2 to come in. You know, it is what it is. You know, you have to replace quality with quality sometimes.
Absolutely. And you know what as well, Bevel? Yeah, I've been saying on this channel now for a week or so that I think this is like possibly the best squad we've had as a collective. Yeah,
it is.
So I can't say that and then not accept that we're going to have these conversations and difficult decisions that we're going to have to make, because you can't have one without the other. If you're going to have a complete squad, if you're going to have this squad which is full packed of quality and talent and different types of roles and stuff, like you got Savio, where you could go with like a Bernardo Silva and all that kind of stuff, then you're not going to be able to get away from having these tricky conversations. And you guys in the chat as well, you're not going to be able to get away from cooking each other in the chat when you have one opinion and someone else has another opinion, because that's what comes with the territory of having a bigger squad. It's what comes with the territory of having a better squad. Yeah. That's it. So spot on that level as well, bro. Big up to Tinsay as well. Says rather play Cancelo before I trust Walker again.
Behave.
Tinsey's just cooking everyone tonight, man. Yeah, Cancelo will never play football for this football club again, bro. He won't.
Get this
He
guy
won't. I
up
big
my
up to
DMs again, man.
I big up to Foggy as well, coming in with the 5 gifted memberships on the channel, guys. W's in the chat. I did see him earlier on, but let's smash some more W's in there, guys.
Yes, man.
Let's get them in. Hey, guys, let me ask you a question, man. Foggy, give me your opinion as well in the chat, mate. Rodri. Yeah? Do we play him against Brentford or do we give him an extended holiday? Because I've asked a couple of people this question. I've got different answers. Can we get away with not playing Rodri against West Ham this weekend? Tough game, but if you can get away without playing him, that means he'll go 8 weeks, I believe, without playing a football match before Brentford, providing he doesn't play for Spain.
I think for me, it depends on Kovacic's. I think
it's no serious injury.
It's not.
No, it was a knock. From what I was told.
I think you have to play him at least for a game or so before we have Arsenal. You have to. Because he needs minutes to get.
The sooner he comes back, the better. Because I'm all for giving him this extended time off, but there needs to come a time where we play him again.
I just find it mad that we're winning games without him.
It is madness. Don't get me wrong. But we are compensating 2 players to aid him.
Well, this is what I was saying at the start of the season. If we rest Rodri, we're losing some kind of creative player because you have to play 2 holdings. So when you'll lose like a Foden or a KDB to compensate with having Bernardo or Gundogan and Kovacic as the 2 holding players. So you do lose creativity by dropping him.
I would rather play him West Ham away and then have him rest for Brentford at home.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because I think the midfield that you've got at West Ham of potentially Souček or Alvarez with Paqueta and Kudus as a midfield 3 is going to cause you a lot more problems than it is Brentford's.
Well, what I'd say
I'm right with that, but just think that midfield can cause you a hell of a lot of problems. There's a reason we wanted Paqueta. Kudus is probably going to have his breakout season like he did the remainder of last season, but I just think that is a dangerous midfield to not have Rodri in.
It's also Brentford's style of play as well. If you look at the Brentford game last season, when Rodri's on the pitch, he normally pushes up into sort of that 8 role, which then leaves a massive gap between midfield and defence. And when Brentford go on the counter, they just hoof a ball straight over the top into that big space. So I think that's a good time to rest Rodri, because then you have to play 2 holding midfielders, which guarantees that somebody is going to be in that space. So it makes sense.
But Brentford are struggling without Tony, to be fair. Like, you've seen it today, Norgard, Janelt and Cole are trying to have to do a lot more to feed into Mbuemo and Wissa, which is going to play to our benefit. If you have 2 holding midfielders like Kovacic and Bernardo in there, they're trying to play out rather than just hoofing it long. They did at times against Liverpool, but Liverpool contained it very well. And there was spaces in the midfield, but I just think with West Ham, I just think they have the quality in the midfield where they could run rings around you.
I think when you're playing these hoof and hope kind of teams, I think you need those 2 holding midfielders because there is massive space at the back. Whereas when we've got Rodri, because generally when he carries the ball or whatever and he starts sort of drifting into that 8 kind of 10 role, which does leave that space. So having that 2 holding midfielders, you're guaranteed to have at least one of them in that space to cover any kind of over the top balls. So.
No, it's interesting. You know what it is, boys? I think I might just have a bit of PTSD. Obviously, Rodri's had... No, be real, man. The guy's hardly had any sort of rest over the last couple of years, right? And I'm here thinking we've got an opportunity to give him rest for another couple of weeks here before bringing him back in for that Brentford game and then obviously the Arsenal game. But, I to be honest...
Do you think too much rest hinders him?
Nah, well, I don't know. He's never had rest before. We don't know. It's the unknown. We literally have no idea. To be fair, if he's fit for West Ham, I think he'll play, because I want to go into this West Ham game now and sort of really get into a preview on this. But I genuinely think this West Ham game, boys, is going to be seriously tough. I think people are underestimating how difficult this is going to be. Lopetegui, difficult manager. He sets his team up very well. I looked at the way that they set the team up against Crystal Palace, 2-0 win at Palace as well. That's a decent result for them. And I think this is going to be super tough. I think that the first 2 games we played well. If we're being honest, we played Ipswich Town, with all due respect. They're obviously a newly promoted team, and Chelsea, who, they open up a little bit. They got Maresca ball, that kind of stuff. This is going to be completely different. They're going to make it really difficult for us. They're going to be getting stuck in, try to, put big tackles on us and that, and we're just going to have to find a way to play. So, I don't know, Tariq, bro, I'll come to you on this one. West Ham at the weekend. How you see this one, man?
I'm with you. I think it'll be a tough game. It's kind of a mixed bag. You don't really know what they played well against Aston Villa and didn't win it. Then they played well against Crystal Palace. So it will be tough. But I just think the way that we are playing, the vein of form that we are in, I just think we just go in there with confidence and just let players cook. I don't want to see us, because we've played differently this season so far than we have in the past, right? Like last year was all about control. And this year we're playing much more aggressive, going to goal. Savio and Doku have just been, able to just cook. And I don't want us to, and maybe we need to, I don't know, but I just don't want to see us change that up. And I think that's part of the excitement for the start of the season. And maybe even why we said at the beginning of the show that we look better than we've looked in the past, just because it's just so different than what we've seen for the last couple of years that have been much more focused on that control. But I think that, I think that it'll definitely be tough for sure.
Yeah, I'd say that they had Kudus on the left, Bowen on the right, and that is a frightening attack, man.
But then it's like Souček and Rodriguez as the holding, with Paqueta just in front, which again...
Yeah, but why did they not play Alvarez? Surely they're bringing Alvarez back into the team, surely.
I think he got minutes. If I just have a look, I just looked at their lineup, to be fair.
Surely they're bringing him in, because he's class. He's absolutely class.
So they're starting lineup.
I'm going to jump off, mate, but I'll just quickly give you my West Ham prediction if you want, mate.
Yeah. Go
on. I reckon Bowen seems to score every year when we go there, but I think he's going to not go this time, and I think we're just going to sneak a 1-0. I think we're just going to sneak a 1-0. I rarely say 1-0, but I think you're right. It's going to be tough. I think Lopetegui's a good manager. I think it's going to be a bit different to when we normally go there and just sort of not turn them over, but we seem to score quite a few, and I think it's just going to be a sneaky 1-0. So, yeah, I'm going to jump off, mate, but cheers for having me on, and I'll see you in a bit.
All right, bro. See you in a bit, man. See you in a bit.
See you later,
hey, yo, what the frick is going on here, boys? What is going on here, lads?
Is that Oasis? Don't even do it to me. Nah. It's not. It's gonna be a 30th anniversary.
Yeah, I know.
Definitely, maybe. It's gonna be a special album. Don't do this to me.
Bro, if this is a new album or like a re-release album, man, I'm gonna be fuming, bro.
4-night tour of the Etihad. Oof.
I'll just tell you this, yeah. I just tell you this. About 6 months ago, I got told that the Etihad has been booked out next summer 2025 for Oasis. But it's like, do you believe them? The source that told me it was a decent source. They've been told it's been booked out.
Oh, don't.
No, that's what I'm just telling you. I'm just passing on the news, innit? I don't know if it's true.
It's a bucket list. It is a bucket
list. But the sad thing is, good luck getting a ticket.
Yeah. Oh, empty ad, innit? You know
I will be there on Ticketmaster.
I just hope that they do what they did for like Ed Sheeran on the weekend, if true, and season ticket holders can have a priority window.
Is that what they did?
Yeah, you got given like an access thing to get onto them quite early or book it through the club. And if that's the case, I'll be like, shut up and take my money, because I will be there.
You will be there. Tariq, you like Oasis or not?
I really didn't know much about them, to be completely fair, because it just wasn't something that I listened to as when I was younger. But as a part of my learning about City and becoming this big City fan, I understand the Gallaghers and just kind of what they represent. So I have some of their music. Yes, I have it on my my little iPad here. So when we're doing our show, occasionally I'll hit the button and we'll have some Oasis playing. So yeah,
I'm just going to recreate that meme.
Right, people in the chat are like, we don't care about Oasis. Tell us, are we signing Kyogo Furuyashi or nah, bro?
No, it definitely is an album, and I'm sorry to kind of dampen people's hopes and dreams.
We're just got to see what happens, man. But let's fingers crossed. Big up to Parter says Rico is balling right now with his sexy curls. I'm in love. Well, there's no need for this, though, man. Yeah, you could have just said Rico is balling. Why do you need to put the second part of this? You don't need this second bit. The sexy curls. Leave it, man.
Why? He does have them.
I will remove you from the stream. Big up as well to Off Meta says Pep said City will have a slow start, but we're super surprised by the level already. We have a clinical Haaland again, depth on the wings, midfield, and depth. Listen, before we wrap up, lads, I want to ask you about Erling Haaland, man, because this guy's breaking like all sorts of like mad records. His numbers are absolutely insane. He's only now 5 hat-tricks away from the all-time Premier League hat-trick leader. This is his 3rd season. He's been here 2 years and 2 games, which is absolutely insane. He's the only striker in the top 50 Champions League goal scorers of all time to score a goal more than every game, like a goal per game ratio. No other goal scorer in Champions League history, the top 50, have done that. Not Messi, not Ronaldo, not any elite level striker. Is this guy disrespected amongst not just football fans, but pundits as well, man? Because calling this guy a League 2 striker, mate, I think is absolutely disrespectful. I know I did the stream on it this morning, yeah, but it enrages me, boys. It enrages me because I'm looking at these numbers and I'm thinking, why are you not seeing what I'm seeing? Why are you obsessed with things that don't matter? Why are you obsessed with his hold-up play or his through ball ability, mate? Like, focus on what's in front of your eyes, and what's in front of your eyes is goals, goals, goals, goals, man.
What I'm going to say, this season is going to be his best season in a City shirt. He's going to break the records that he set. Now, the reasons for that, if you look at him this season, he did it against Chelsea. He did it again against Ipswich at the weekend. His ability to keep the ball and his ability on the ball now, in particular with dribbling, has just got 10 times better.
I agree.
When against Chelsea, he dribbled around those players, stuck it in the net. He did the same where he dribbled it around Muric and stuck it in the net.
Yeah.
I think you're seeing a different beast this season. I think he's going to break every record that he set.
I mean, he's on course to do it. I don't know if you checked it, but he's already 2 goals ahead of where he was in the first season in the Premier League. And in
4 goals in 2 games. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. In the first 2 games at City in his first season, he scored 2 goals. So he's 2 ahead. And in the 3rd game, he scored 1 goal. So if he scores again against West Ham, he's cooking.
Oh, he'll have 2 against West Ham. I'm saying it's 3-1.
But boys, look at these numbers, man. Look at these numbers. This is not normal, man. How are you? Come on, listen. Is he the most polished player in the world? No, but who cares when he's got these numbers?
He does the job he needs to do. Like, I'm sorry, but like at the end of the day, if he could ping a through ball and fucking start rouletting people and doing elasticals and stuff, then we'd be like, why the fuck's he not in the box?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, does the job that he needs to do. Anything in the 18-yard box, he is finishing. Let's be honest, I'm fucking grateful we have him and not Harry Kane, because he'd end up in the fucking, touchline somewhere. Don't get me wrong, Harry Kane was a good striker, but he just seems to be all over the place at the minute. We have a guy who, you give him something in the box, he's going to give you what you need. And that's all I want from him. I don't want him, playing 1-2s, passing the ball around at the halfway line. No, just get him in the box and do what he needs to do. That is it. And
if it wasn't for Muric with that absolute world-class save, when
he'd have 4.
Haaland header, he'd be on 5 goals in 2 games.
Yeah. Now, 100%. Now, 100%, man. And listen, for me, I'm just looking at this situation now and thinking, at what level could he get? Like, Bevel's trying to tell me that it's going to be his best season ever. And I've got to look at Bevel and think, Bevel, you're delusional. And I'll tell you why I think that, Bevel. It's because, no. Because if Bevel's right, what does that mean?
He's not even in his prime yet. That's the worst thing.
The reason why I say it is because he's added to his game. He's added that dribbling ability to his game. And I'm not saying that he didn't have it before, but he's got better.
Yeah, but Bevel, my point is, if you're trying to tell me that he's going to get better this year, then what sort of striker am I looking at? Because how can he get better on last year or the year? Well, he get better a little bit on last year, but like year one, like we got to be looking at one of the all-time greats if he gets better this year. I'm like,
if he stays as well, 10, like not 10 years, but like 8 to 9 seasons.
Well, where's he going?
That's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
you just have to kind of think, you might want to go somewhere else if he completes football, let's be honest. But he's on the verge in a couple of seasons' time of surpassing Shearer. If he continues these numbers up, which is Alan Shearer had 15, 16 seasons in the Premier League, let's not forget, from 92 to 2006, 14, 15 seasons maybe. If he's getting up there with the likes of Alan Shearer and that, this is scary numbers. He's already up there for hat-tricks, things like that. Aguero's top with 12. And this guy's not even in his prime yet. He's 24 years of age.
Erling Haaland has 7 Premier League hat-tricks in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Shearer has 11.
Well, he's already matched, was it Rooney? And Rooney played, 450 games in the Premier League? It's and these are all-time Premier League greats that we're talking about here. It's not just...
Did it surprise any of you that Pep actually kept him out there to get the hat trick? And then as soon as he got it, Pep pulled him off. Because we saw in the previous 2 seasons, Pep would have no problem pulling him off. I
think it was more injuries, though, to be fair.
I thought it was to keep him hungry, if I'm being honest. I thought it was more like, I could have got it. Oh, we'll get it next game.
Yeah, and so the fact that he kept him in this, this past week was surprising to me because I kept expecting him to come off. And I was thinking maybe we would see McAtee a little sooner or what have you. But
I think it was more injury prevention last season, though. I think obviously he came in with a notorious injury record from Salzburg, Borussia Dortmund. There was a lot of games he missed. City have tried to kind of damage limitations in terms of his injuries. We've seen it last season that he had quite a long-term injury. And for me, I think now because he's had that long-term summer break, like LB discussed earlier with players, I think the club have realised there's not actually any cause for concern with any injuries so far. So they're like, right, we'll just try and keep him on the pitch. And obviously it's, reaping the rewards.
You know what, as well, maybe that comes into it to a small degree is like, because he's such a big player, he's got a bit of an ego and he wants to be winning individual honours. Like, hat-tricks are like insane when it comes to the end of the year and everyone looks at the stats of who to vote for. It's like, this guy has this many hat-tricks and this guy has this many hat-tricks. And I feel like when it comes to Haaland, I do think Haaland has an eye on stuff like the Ballon d'Or, on those sort of prizes. And if he's on 2 goals and he can get an extra one and get a hat-trick, that if you can amass so many hat-tricks throughout a season, that would help your cause massively when it comes to the Ballon d'Or. So I also think stuff like that is might creep into Pep's head and saying, I've got to manage this guy right, because if I'm subbing him off after 60 minutes every game, he might not be happy because he wants to be playing longer to score more goals. We can win the Ballon d'Or.
I think it'd be stupid if you're not looking at things like Ballon d'Ors in his kind of, not in an ego sense, but the ability that guy has and the numbers he's putting up. There will be whispers in his ear saying, look, you can do this to get your Ballon d'Or. There's probably a reason why he's doing a lot more media stuff now, because that gets noticed. Rodri Rodri has reasons probably why he doesn't do all that kind of media and PR shite like the Real Madrid lot do.
Yeah.
But it does play its hands. When you're making appearances and doing the things that Haaland is doing, it gets you noticed by a lot of kind of people who probably wouldn't watch you for football. And as sad as that is, he should have had it over Messi.
He should have had it over Messi.
The last time Rodri did any kind of media for City, he said the F word, didn't he, in the middle of an interview?
Yeah, and then turned around and went, what? I don't know what I said.
What word did I say?
Yeah. But that's the thing, like, you know, these media things help. You know, it's helped with like Messi and Ronaldo over the years, and it's sad to say because a lot of these people who probably vote for the Ballon d'Or, the journalists, probably don't watch as much football as they should, because you know we all have the right. And I think if you watch football for 90 minutes each week, you know Rodri should be the front runner for the Ballon d'Or. But unfortunately, it's probably going to be Mbappe, Vinicius Jr. or Bellingham because they get the face in the media. You know, Bellingham's PR team works 24 hours a day. Apparently, he's got an injury that most people don't even have that fucking muscle. So,
to be in that elite player, the elite of the elite in terms of players, you do have to have some kind of sense of selfishness about you. You do.
Of course you do, 100%.
Yeah.
And that includes, Pep, don't take me off when I've got 2 goals. I need to win this. I need to get this hat-trick.
Well, it's like when he got 5, he wanted 6, you know?
Yeah, because it all helps, man. You know, the first page, you get 6 goals, all that kind of stuff. Listen, let me go through some of these super chats before we wrap it up. Big up to Matty. This guy's thirsty for some Oasis, man. He says, check Oasis Instagram ASAP. We checked it, man. We checked it. And we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens on that. Big up to Keon, who says, hot take, but I dropped Doku for Grealish. Doku slows down our play, while Grealish helps facilitate our play. Copenhagen last season, but he's still a Doku fan, though, says Keon. I think we're going to get a really good battle between Doku and Grealish on that left-hand side. I think they're both going to push each other because they only really... I mean, Doku can play on the right, of course, but he doesn't play particularly well there, according to a lot of people, and he's not done great, to be fair, since he's been there. So these two really can only play on that left-hand side, so they've got to push each other. So I think Doku and Grealish are going to go up a level this year, because if they don't, then the other guy's going to play. So interesting.
I think you see Grealish in the middle this season at some point, though.
I don't.
I really do.
I just think, bro, he's been here. This is his 4th year. I just think you would have seen it by now. I think you would have seen it in a Carabao Cup game or when he subbed off of KDB or something. I just think if you was going to see it, you would have seen it by now. Could be wrong.
I think you're right, but just there's a hope there. I think there's a little bit of me.
Pep is very, very protective about who he puts in the midfield as well. Don't forget, it took Foden the best part of 5 years to be trusted in the midfield.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No,
you are right.
AK says, hate the game, not the player. Big up, AK, man. Always supporting the channel, bro. Appreciate you, bro. And big up off Meta, another one always supporting the channel, says, imagine calling Haaland overrated when he has 2 times as many goals as Cristiano Ronaldo at 24. Cristiano Ronaldo being the ultimate goal machine, and it's in 45 fewer games as well, says off Meta. Listen, facts don't care about people's feelings, innit? So when people come out with these stupid feelings, we know the truth, and we know that, listen, this guy's scoring goals for fun. And I think he's going to do, if he stays fit off Meta, I think he's going to do 50 goals, all comps.
Let's not forget, Didier Drogba only scored 20-plus goals in 2 Premier League seasons, and he's regarded as one of the best Premier League strikers.
He was a goal, though, to be fair. But the difference...
big game player, but if you want to talk numbers...
Yeah, I think the one thing that I think some people maybe are questioning, and maybe sort of, and I'll leave it, I'm not going to open the discussion because I want to end the show, but I'll leave the panel with this, and I'll leave the chat with this. Could Haaland score more goals in the big games, in finals, semi-finals? That's maybe what people are saying. Don't answer, Luke. I know you're eager to, but I'll leave you with that one. Chat, let me know in the comment section down below. Hopefully, guys, have enjoyed the stream. Listen, do me a favour, chat, yeah? Look at him, man. Look at him. Look at fucking State. He's like, let me answer. Let me answer. Pain. Listen, chat, do me a favor, man. Go down to the description, yeah? All 3 of these guys' channels are linked in the description. Make sure you go and subscribe to them as well, and check out the content that they're doing on their channel as well. Big up to you, lads, for coming on. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, smash a like. Give us your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below, and I will be back tomorrow with another one. See you later.